Okay, so with the ball wedged in behind the sacrum, let's first thing do what we've been doing so far, which is really try to hollow the front body into the back, create more space between the lumbars, and then let's go ahead and interlace our fingers and clasp around that bent knee and just keep scooping the belly in and opening the lumbar up in a way that kind of leans us back so that we're putting a little pressure into the ball. Yeah. And so once you feel like you've got the really open lumbar, pressure into the ball, but space between the vertebrae, let's just let go of that leg, reach the arms forward. So you could just be here and do the breathing of exhale, hollow belly, open lumbar. Try to preserve that shape as we breathe in. So we're really breathing into the back. As we exhale and squeeze, we're pressuring into the ball. If you want to add a little, as we exhale, press into the ball, we could just float that knee in a little and set it down. So we're just balancing here, not letting ourselves get twisted or turned just because we're losing that, other foot support. Yeah, and if that's working well, we could pick the foot up and we could extend and stretch the leg for a second, fold the knee to set it down. Yeah, so we're kind of maneuvering around the ring as well. Good. Now be sure we're not forgetting to pressure into the ball as we exhale and do all the other choreography. Good. And then just one more, and let's hold it. Press the ball, press the ball, press the ball, and down. Good. And then go ahead and just slide that one out next to the ring to come up tall. And then maybe we put our hands on top of the ring and take a nice long stretch over that slightly lifted leg. All right, up nice and tall. Let's get the ring to the other side. Okay, yep. Ball is in close, and let's find the lumbar shape, and then tip back. Feel pressure into the ball. Go ahead and catch that knee. Feel this flat foot kind of grounding actively into the mat, and then let's really hollow the belly so we feel like there's some tug of the hands against the knee and that pressure into the ball. A couple more exhales of just hollowing the belly, the ribs disappear, the lumbar lengthens. Good, and then we can release the knee, and and now feel how it's the pressure of the sacrum into the ball. That's going to keep us centered as we exhale, pressure, and float that foot out of the floor just a little, set it back down. Yeah, and notice, is there any twist, turn, subtle rotation in the spine, or can we stay perfectly centered? Yeah, so this is really for our obliques to not let us fall over to one side. Awesome. Yeah, option to float the foot and then stretch that leg for a moment, folding through to set it down. Good. Getting a little quad and hip flexor in the mix along with the abs. Activating into the ball as the foot leaves the floor. Notice if the foot leaving the floor might want to pull the sacrum forward. How do we really hug it back? Twice more here. Good, and then stretch and hold it. Exhale, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good, and fold on through. Let's slide that out long. We're up tall. Grab your ring, take a long stretch forward. Okay, you have options. You could repeat what we just did one more time each side. If you want to go to a next option, let's take the ring back over in line with the first leg, but this time the leg is going to go on top. And then you could work through the sacrum into the ball, or you could, and use this flat foot and your hands to maneuver, we might rock back so that the ball is a little bit more low ribs, bra line. And then again, maybe here we're going to be holding onto the thigh or the knee, whatever works for you. But to find that place of, first of all, we want to compress down into the ring, give the ring a little bit of a squash. That other foot is grounding into the mat. We're doing our hug and hollow. Good. And we could just stay here and exhale. We could release the leg and reach forward. Yeah. And try to have the ball low enough that your head is floating over your shoulders so you don't just feel like you're working your neck here. Good. And then option two, the same. We could exhale, peel that foot out of the floor, Slowly roll through the foot back into the floor. Now can we press into the ball in the moment where the foot is departing the mat and coming back into the mat? Or do you feel yourself getting seesawed out of the ball a little bit as the foot ungrounds? So get that good hug and press the ring, press the ball. Yeah, the props are just here for feedback. Press the ring, press the ball. Maybe we extend the leg. Maybe the leg goes a little lower. Notice that that's actually more challenging than a higher leg. Good. Keep dropping the ribs just to keep the head up high enough that we're not doing a neck exercise here. Good. One more time. Let's get a hold. So the leg could be high for a little less. The leg could be reaching low, but we're still pressing into the ball for a little bit more. And let's fold that knee and grab it and use that to pull yourself up out of there. Let's go for a little butterfly stretch here. So bottoms of the feet together. Again, maybe we have hands on ring and just take a nice long stretch over. Good, good, good. Okie dokie, second side, line that ring up with the other hip, leg on bottom or on top, ball at sacrum or at ribs. So many choices. And then yeah, if you started to feel your neck a bunch on that first set, pull the ball a little lower down your back so you're supported up higher out of there. It'll be less necky. Okay, and then let's hang out holding onto the leg in whatever shape. Use your biceps. And in fact, let's just give ourselves a little bicep-driven ab curl. So notice we can just get a little deeper fold at the base of the ribs, be more curled, and that gets the head more upright over the shoulders. And then hold there and carve your belly back into that shape that we're going to hold as the arms reach out. And let's just exhale and scoop the belly into this shape. We're pressing into the ring to kind of squash it to an oval. We're pressing into the ball to stay in our high curl. And with all those pressures, we might peel that foot out of the floor and roll back through. And again, in that moment where the weight of the foot's coming out of the ground. Good, good, yeah. That's where we want to really press the ball especially. Nice. Option to stretch the leg long, high, or reach it out. Challenge your rib connection to the ball. Up and down a few more times there. Beautiful. Just doing a really long teaser here basically today. Good. One more time. Stretch the leg. Find a good challenge. Hold. Keep exhaling, squeezing, pressing the ball. Let's fold the knee and drag yourself up out of there. Good. Let's take another butterfly. Awesome. And while you're hanging out in whatever version of this stretch, really activate the hips and think of actively pressing your knees into the ground, actively opening there. Good, good, good. Okay, let's put the ring and the ball aside for a sec, and we can have your weights handy. Let's scooch in close to the chair so that we could lie on the back with our 90-degree legs. We're going to start with chest presses. So if you'd rather do a modified push-up, then lie flat and do a chest press. That is a great option. If you're on the floor, let's get those weights right up over the shoulders. Yeah. So take a moment here, feel those arm bones in the sockets. Give your shoulders a little nudge away from your ears. And then can we just feel those low ribs hug into the body a little bit more, disappearing those front ribs. And let's take your slowest, deepest inhale as we bend the elbows out wide. Exhale, let's say we won't quite straighten the elbows, whatever movement you're working with. Let's go to our nice 90-degree bend and then almost straight arms, not quite. Yeah, and we're just going fullest breath in for the bending. Most thorough exhale, super strong core through the press. Good. Now, if you're using the weights, let's really notice how much easier it feels the higher we press the weights. So now at most, let's press halfway. So you're keeping yourself in that challenge. If you're doing push-ups, it's more apt to feel challenging the whole time, but definitely never quite straightening those elbows. Good. If you're on the floor, you might play with only pressing 1 inch out of the ground. Let's say we're going to get 5 more of whatever you're doing, nice and slow. Be sure you feel a really good challenge within the next 3 of these. Good. And 2. On the last one, only press halfway up and pause there, shoulders away from the ears, front ribs hidden into the back body, holding, breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can rest elbows down, take a child's pose if you're on knees. And let's go ahead and set the weights down if you're holding them. And then we'll go into some bridging. So you could do the chair bridge here. You could have your feet just wide on the floor and do some nice wide bridging if you prefer that. All right, so we got our heels digging into whatever. If you're on the chair, remember, you don't need to go high at all. You just float the pelvis that little bit and then super light tap back down. Yeah, and let's just think nice long neutral spine. But as we press the pelvis out of the floor, let's continue with our theme of really feeling the whole front body hollowed into the back body. So we're sure that we have extra space between the lumbar vertebrae. It's so easy to scrunch them together when we bridge up. So kind of let that determine how high you go. How high can I press and lift with maximum space between the bones? Good. Yeah, just a few more. And the next time you press up, let's stay up there. Again, just focus on the core. Exhale, hollow. Lengthen through the tailbone. Nice long spine. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your way down. Nice. Let's take a happy baby. And you might just waggle the legs a little more and less bent. Yeah, lengthen those hamstrings out. And then we'll do another round of your chest press or push-up. Find your way to that place. And again, when you arrive in the position, just give the shoulders an extra nudge out of the ears and the front rib an extra nudge back into your body. And here we go with the breath. Inhale, bend. And with the weights, right away, let's do like halfway press at most. So right away, we're gonna feel some challenge. Good. And really use the pace. Can you take your entire inhale for the bending, your entire exhale for the pressing, even doing a smaller movement? Yeah, snail's pace. Yes, nice, Margaret, that's awesome. Looks great, Christabel. Beautiful control, everybody. Just a few more, maybe it's just a 1 inch press if you need more challenge to feel like you're gonna get to some fatigue. And next time we take that 1 inch press, let's hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax out of there. Beautiful. Okay, we can set the weights down and let's go into a little bit of cat-cow. So let's shift ourselves around. And so we've been doing, a lot of hollowing and opening of the back so far, but now just let the belly really release and have some weight and bring you into some arch. Yeah. So make a ton of space in the back, rounding up, and keep that long feeling as you give yourself just a little bit of a hang to the arch. Good. One more of each. And then just bring yourself to a version of neutral that gives you that most space between those lumbar vertebrae. And let's keep that as we tuck the toes and go easy down dog. So same thing, legs do whatever they need to do to let your spine stay long, really reach up and back through those sit bones. Okay, let's pass through whatever version of forward bend feels nice, and then up to you whether you want to roll or lengthen up out of there.